So next week is the finale, and this is the ending the show writers decided to go with. Daenerys has become the Mad Queen. After winning the war and seeing her enemies surrender, she burned and sacked King's Landing in Dothraki fashion, making sure every innocent man, woman, and child witnessed her strength firsthand. She is a Khaleesi after all, leading a Dothraki herd of her own. She didn't get the people's love that she desired, so she settled for the people's fear. But will Jon, Davos, Tyrion, and Arya let this slide? These are the first 4 characters shown in the finale's preview, and what's waiting ahead are loyal Unsullied and Dothraki fighters, still prepared to die for Daenerys. Just judging on Davos, Tyrion, Jon, and Arya's reaction in episode 5 to the burning of King's Landing, it's pretty clear they will be opposing Daenerys. So Jon vs Daenerys will be the final conflict in the Game of Thrones. They should have listened to poor Varys when they had the chance. Daenerys accomplished what her crazy father, the Mad King, tried to do when the rebels and Lannisters defeated him at the end of Robert's Rebellion. He didn't have a dragon to ride back then, however, so tried to destroy King's Landing with wildfire so that no one could have his city. Even in this week's episode, we see some of the old leftover wildfire caches exploding due to Drogon's attacks, adding more devastation to the attack. This short preview ends with Daenerys walking towards the crowd of her followers in a very apocalyptic setting. If this scene full of ash and destruction reminds you of anything, it's because we saw it in Dany's vision all the way back in Season 2 when she was in Karth. The Warlocks wanted her power, so invited her into the House of the Undying, where she saw a few visions. She approaches the throne room, but it has turned to ruin. It's covered in ash, just like what she has turned it into in this week's episode. Right before she takes a seat on the Iron Throne, or even touches it, she walks out the room, into another vision. A gate takes her beyond the wall, and then into another vision with Khal Drogo and her unborn child. The fact that she doesn't even touch the Iron Throne may be some foreshadowing. She'll never become the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms like she's always dreamt of becoming. It all kinda makes sense now, as to why they killed off Jon's dragon, Rhaegal, last week. Daenerys wouldn't seem like much of a threat to Jon if they both had dragons on their side. With Daenerys being the only person in the world now with a dragon, it won't be easy keeping the Iron Throne away from her. This is the last chance Bran has to work into a dragon and take it away from its master. I mean, he has to do something, right? He's been more of a liability than any of use in the show, even with all his overpowered abilities. It looks like they're heading into the direction of taking out Daenerys and possibly Drogon. That vision back in Season 2 could be foreshadowing her death and her joining her deceased family in the afterlife. I guess Jon will now have no other choice but to be the king of the Seven Kingdoms, even though he doesn't want to. Maybe one day he'll find himself a relationship that doesn't end horribly and get a queen by his side. The question is, who will be the one to kill Daenerys? There was a lot of focus on Arya towards the end of episode 5, so it'll likely be her. They didn't give her the final blow to Cersei, so maybe the writers are saving it for Daenerys. It would be really cool if it was Drogon under the control of Bran. She's immune to fire, but she won't survive a good old devouring.
Sentence you to die. Dracarys.
I'd love to hear some of your predictions for next week. But the end is almost here, guys. I'll be making an episode 5 discussion video for tomorrow, so I'll see you all then. Thanks for watching this one.